The thoughts of Herbie Hyde there. We're going to have the thoughts of Danny Williams now, who's been listening to that, and also the thoughts of Audley Harrison, who's in Las Vegas. Good afternoon to you, Audley.
Good afternoon, John.
Just as you're here, thanks an awful lot for joining us. Looking forward, obviously, to the Holyfield-Tony fight later on this evening. We'll leave you for a second, if we may, Audley, and just talk about the Herbie Hyde fight, which obviously we've seen here tonight, and you haven't been able to. Danny, what did you make of Herbie's performance tonight?
I think it was good. He's picking his punches well, but basically all he had in front of him was a punch bag. You know, all I'm saying is, you know, come and fight me. I'm ready to take him on any time. But it looks like he don't even want to fight me. He's a bottle job.
Richie, impartial observer, what do you think?
I just get very confused when I'm listening to Herbie Hyde, basically. Danny summed it up. I think he performed well tonight, Herbie Hyde did. But at one time, not so long back, he was calling out Danny Williams. He wanted to fight Danny Williams. Now he seems, to me there, he was hinting that he didn't want the fight, basically. Whether that's right, I don't know.
Well, he was calling Danny out because he needed to call somebody out, and you can't just come back from, you know, basically a year or so out the ring, come back from Las Vegas, land in Britain, start calling out Chris Bird. It means nothing. So the natural person you call out is the British heavyweight champion, and also you insult Audley. You insult Audley, who's a big attraction. You insult Danny Williams, who's the British heavyweight champion. Suddenly, after 6 months, 3 fights, he's got rid of his ring rust. His lawyers picked up the phone from Chicago, who also looks after Chris Bird, the IBF champion, and said, Herbie, what are you going to get for this Danny Williams fight? Herbie's told him something, probably a low figure, not a fib, just a low figure. And then Herbie said, so John Horner says to Herbie, Herbie, I can get you more for fighting Chris Bird. Of course he's going to come on TV and say, I've got options. That's what bumps the money up.
I was going to say, he's just shining up the ante, but you still want to fight him, Danny,
might be right.
I'd love to fight him because I want to knock him out. I want to get him out of boxing, you know. He makes me sick and I just want to knock him out. Simple as that.
And it's worth saying, we had a fantastic atmosphere in here tonight, and it would be twice that, wouldn't it, if you and Herbie were to get it on here?
Yeah, if me and him get it on, it would be absolutely massive. You know, when I walk on the street, everyone's saying they want to see that fight. So, you know, just get it on. He's saying that it's only my bank manager who wants it. You know, everyone in Britain wants to see that match, so just get it on.
And at some point, maybe they want to see you fight Audley. Audley, let's talk about your contest in Las Vegas last night. How did you view that?
Yeah, I thought it was, overall I've had a chance to view the tape. You know, I felt strong, I felt good in there. It was a last-minute change of opponent, but, you know, the guy came in as a reputed puncher. Didn't have a chance to look at him tape, but as you see, I think I showed something different in there last night with the combination punching and with the speed. And like, as you see, I've been improving all the time, and, you know, I gave myself definitely a thumbs up, and so did the majority of the fans in the place.
And a good finish, yes?
Yeah, the finish was, you know, those are the kind of things I'm working on, the combination punching and the speed and the power and the accuracy, and that's going to take most guys out even when I'm moving up.
Richie, what did you make of Audley's performance?
I was quite impressed with his performance. I thought he was sharp. I thought there was a lot more powerful punches going in there. And Audley, I'd just like to say, you look good, mate, but are we going to see you step up in class sooner rather than later?
Yeah, no doubt, Richie, no doubt. I mean, all I've got to say to that, I was getting an interview last night after the fight, and I think I painted the picture quite clearly. And the picture is this: if you see Vladimir Klitschko was an Olympic champion, yes, he was moved quickly, just like Lennox Lewis, who I've got a lot of respect for. But if you look at Vladimir Klitschko, when he won the world title, he couldn't fight southpaws, he couldn't fight going backwards. As you saw with Lennox, when he lost the title to Oliver McCall, he had to change trainers. I intend to learn everything I need to learn so that when I'm heavyweight champion of the world, I'm not going to be losing the title and have to be sacking my trainers. I mean, how many trainers has Danny Williams had? I'm not going to be losing and then blaming somebody and then have to go back to the drawing board. So what I'm trying to do is learn all the fundamentals, learn everything I need to learn so that when I do win that title, which I'm going to do, I'm able to keep on to it. And also on top of that, I just want to say, moving on, the Herbie Hyde Danny Williams situation, it's a fight I'd love to see as well. But really, I'm in America where it's all happening, right? There's so many heavyweight fights going on, all the fighters are mixing, and Herbie Hyde is a former two-time world champion. Herbie Hyde should be trying to get onto the world stage. He shouldn't be trying to be on a British stage fighting for British titles. He should be where it's at, which is in the world, because that's where it really matters. You know,
Audley, if I could intrude just for a second, because, you know, we obviously saw the fight a few moments ago in Las Vegas last night, which is kind of like, you would like the aperitif, if you like, to the main course this evening, the Holyfield fight. And, you know, it wasn't a big atmosphere. It wasn't like you were part of a big occasion. If you had been here tonight at the Alexandra Palace with 4,000 plus people here screaming the place down, okay, it was for Davey Walker, and in the end it didn't actually turn out to be much of a contest, but we had a really big boxing occasion here. Isn't that what you're craving?
No, but John, what I'm craving is That fight yesterday, my fight, I had every one of the national American press in the audience watching. I had probably 10 world champions in the audience watching. And they all saw my performance, and they were all impressed by my performance. Everyone in the UK knows who Audley Harrison is. Now everyone in Australia knows who Audley Harrison is. Now the people in America are getting to see who Audley Harrison is. And that's what it's about. People in England already know who I am. Danny Williams and those guys are always going to be there on the British scene because they don't seem to have the ambition or want to move forward and test themselves on the world stage. And what it's about is making an impression in the right places.
So am I right in
the main event? But I was in the right place at the right time, performing well, and that's what counts at this stage.
All right, but so am I to infer from what you're saying there that you don't foresee coming back to fight in this country for quite a while?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I said quite clearly that I'm going away until the end of the year, and I said I'm also going to be busy. So far, it's been as good as my word, and next year I'll be back.
Fighting who?
Well, the bottom line is, I think, in the next couple of months, I'm going to be nominated for the Southern Area title. I'm also going to be nominated for the English title, and the board's made that clear to me. So, there's going to be a position where there's 2 titles there, and obviously I'm going to have to choose one. And there's some other guys. I'm ranked number 5 in Britain. There's some guys just ahead of me who I'll be looking to take. And, I'll be moving up. Like I said, people have just got to see that my way is the right way. A shame to David Walker. I heard about the David Walker result. It ain't about rushing your fighter for TV audience. Yes, it was a great audience there at Ali Pali, but the guy got beat. And if the guy was allowed to take his time and learn his career like he's supposed to do, then the guy would be winning the European title. And it's not about contesting these fights, it's about winning the fights and holding on to the titles. And that's what my plan is.
Sure.
That's how it's been in the beginning, and that's how it'll be in the end.
And I must ask you, if Hyde-Williams does take place in 6-8 weeks' time, who do you think's going to win?
Well, if it does take place, I'm definitely buying a ticket. And, I think Danny's going for a run of poor form, and Danny's looking like, I haven't seen Danny's recent fights, but people are telling me he's looking like a fighter waiting to be beat. So I think Danny's got to raise his game, because Herbie is dangerous early on. But I think if Danny collects clean, Herbie should go. So really it's a fight people should turn up and see. It'd be a great fight. But really it should be a fight for a world title, not for the British title. And both of the guys need to get back on the world stage. Danny needs to get more ambitious, and Herbie should go back where he said he should be, on the world stage, because that's what it's about.
Danny, answer that.
Yeah, I'm ready to be taken. I'm waiting for you to take me, Audley. I'm waiting for you to take me. And you say you're going to America to go in front of the American crowd, but the thing is, you're not even number 1 in London. So I don't understand why you're going to America to take over America. You're not even number 1 in London. So I don't know what you're going to America for.
It's about the world, baby.
beat everyone in London first.
But Audley, your first fight in America was in front of 300 or 400 people, and you got more publicity in the UK than you did in America. This fight, admittedly, was a sensible move. It's a move that I've discussed with some of the people who look after you for about 3 years. If you're going to go to America, if you're going to hijack a show, Gatti and Ward was a disaster last year, as we all know. You didn't get on, it was a disaster. You didn't get on American TV. You didn't get hardly in American papers. You went to Miami. That was a disaster. Fantastic viewing here. We had a lovely show. And this has looked good tonight. Great finish, the best finish I've ever seen from you. And you would get a lot of publicity from this, because all of the Americans, not only were they at your fight, they had to come down in lifts. That's all they had to do. Even the fat ones had to walk maybe 200 feet. But it won't be that way in November and December.
But Steve, in Miami, with all due respect, it was the first of a live audience, the biggest audience in America, ESPN. The biggest audience in a minute. A-Force Promotions promoting their first show. It was a fantastic occasion for A-Force.
And you did well, you did well.
Fantastic occasion for me. It was great for me. I had all of America who tuned into that channel, saw the Olympic gold medalists performing on their network. It was fantastic. It wasn't a disaster at all. It was beautiful.
All right, Audley, we've got to move it on. Thanks a lot. Last word to you, though, Audley, if I may. Last word.
My fans coming out there. Big respect to all my fans. There were some Brits out there, although you don't feel there's a lot of Brits out there, and a big respect to Leah Matis and Kylie who had their christening today.
All right, Audley, just if I got one last question, when do you expect to have your next fight out in the States?
Yeah, I want to stick in November, and I also want to try and go again in December. So I want to stay busy, and so the British fans can see that I'm serious and I'm active, and I'm just going to keep rolling on, and next year I'll be back for sure.
All right, thanks an awful lot.
You take care. Big up all the London crew. Hey, my family, respect.
All right, okay, and anyone who knows you. And Danny, just to quickly, because we obviously saw Herbie Hyde distancing himself from fighting you. How convinced are you that that fight is going to take place?
I was convinced up until the interview. I thought he just had to get through this fight. We was all cheering him on, so we get through the fight, and we get the fight on in December. But suddenly the fight seems quite far away from me. I don't understand what's going on.
You're a bit despondent about that?
I'm very. I don't think the fight's going to happen now.
Really? Okay, well, we shall see. Thanks an awful lot. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Let's move on then to some more of the action from Alexandra Palace tonight. It was kind of, we had one obviously Russian opponent in the big fight here tonight, and it was kind of buy one, get two free, because Carl Froch's opponent, unbeaten from Nottingham, and we've seen him on BBC television a lot in the